Here we are. We're out here again. And I want to say right off the bat, honestly, for the first video was kind of supposed to be like the range test and just me talking about a few other things, but I kind of want to turn this second video into the range test, since like I knew if this battery is going to give me what I'm expecting, or at least what I'm hoping for, I'm not going to do that all in one video simply because of how cold it is out here. And for some reason that day I had a headache. I don't know why. So the rough roads around here was just messing with me, and it was making my headache worse. But this being the second half of that test, we're chilling on, at first this says 75.1, 75.0 as I'm coming out here. BMS saying about 48%. When I stopped yesterday, it was at 52, 50-ish. So I don't know if it's fluctuating or that's just how off these percentages would be. But pretty much I did my calculations. Each cell was adding up to about 73.52 volts after doing 19.66 miles. So now we are about to see how much more range can we get on this battery. So I'm not 100% sure, but I might not do too much high speeds. I have to see about that, because with this new battery I probably will, just to have fun. But honestly, I just want to cruise at about 40 to 50 and do a realistic speed test to see how much more range I'll get with half of a battery. After this video, we can do even more scenic routes, since I officially know how much miles this bike can do. So another good thing about this test for today, as you can tell, it is very windy. This bike's probably not picking it up that well, but to me, I can barely hear myself. So if I'm shouting at y'all right now, I apologize. For this video, I'm more likely going to be sitting in gear 2. We're at gear 1 right now, but I'm more likely going to kick it up to gear 2, because that'll probably be the gear I use the most, unless it's like times where the traffic is heavy and you can't really go that fast, because you ain't gonna be doing no lane skip or none of that. So no one's really doing anything past 44 miles per hour. Then that's when I use gear 1. But gear 2, traffic's not that heavy, getting some speed, get a good amount of torque. And gear 3 is if I'm just messing around, or I just really need to pass somebody who's driving a little crazy or just too goddamn slow. So 19 and a half. And actually, you know what? I gotta remember, I did about, what, a mile and a half? A mile and a half or a mile? I'm gonna say a mile and a half off camera, just messing around with the acceleration when I first slapped this battery in. So I think I've done about 20, maybe 21 miles on one charge so far. I can't remember exactly because I didn't have the speed app out. I was just looking at the BMS, seeing what the voltage sag was like, and I'm pretty sure I was just driving in my neighborhood, but my neighborhood's a long straight stretch, and to do that a couple of times, you're gonna do a mile pretty quickly and pretty easily. And I feel like I might have done a mile plus. So for now, we'll say we probably actually done about 20 and a half miles, because I forgot, I gotta add that mile. So you know what, let's switch it up to gear 2 now. I really need some new gloves, these straps keep coming off. But like I was saying before, the first video was, I did want it to be, you know what, let's turn. I did want it to be the original like range test, but there was just other things I felt I wanted to talk about and should mention in the first video, which is talking about the Scan battery and then comparing it to the Scan battery when it comes to voltage sag and all that. See, it's moments like this where I would just switch it back to gear 1, because no really acceleration. As you can see, we probably didn't do no faster than like 35. I wanted to talk about those things, and once again, I knew in that first video that if I can get the miles that I'm hoping for, I'm not going to do that in one video. It's going to get too cold, and once again, I had a headache, and the rough road was making it worse. But now we're at the other half of the battery. I wasn't sure if I was going to go too far out, but you know what? I might go a little further out. Not too far, but just a little further. Just to have some more fun, actually, speaking of that. So yeah, now that we're at the second half of the battery and at this part of the video, this is the official range test, and we can add up how much we've done at the end of the video and see how much this 72 volt 50.4 amp hour battery can get me with the 21700 Motley cells, the P42A cells. How much range will we get on such a heavy ass bike? This bike is so heavy. I'm thinking about doing a second review on this bike, an updated review, but there's other few upgrades I want to get for this bike that feels like I should wait to do the updated review if that's what I'm gonna do. There's a couple more things I want to do with this bike. Would I talk about it now? Maybe for conversation. But I am thinking about doing an updated review. Just thinking about it. I'm just really, I know I've said this already in the first video on this bike, but I'm just really happy that I can finally get the range that I've been looking for. See, times like this we'll have fun and speed up just a little bit. Not too fast, only 53. Yeah, see this rough road right here specifically. That road back there specifically has mad amounts of potholes that I would wish they would fix, and probably not gonna do that. I say 69 volts, why are we sagging so bad? I forgot, we're half battery right now. I will be going back and forth to check the BMS app. We should be connected to see what our percentage is looking like, because one thing I don't want to do is go too far out or go down here and shit. And next thing we're at like 10%, I'm like, oh wow, I'm either gonna have to go really slow on my way back, or I'm not gonna make it and I will be halfway driving back, halfway walking back. So we're gonna definitely make sure to check some percentages, especially because this voltmeter is about 1.5 volts off. So I could look at the voltmeter and be like, okay, we got a little bit of battery left, let's get home. And next thing you know, it's lower than I thought. So at times I'm gonna make sure to check the voltage. Jeez, this road is oddly packed. Look at that bright, sunny, cloudy view. Jeez. Yeah, this wind's definitely gonna help, because this battery gotta fight through this wind. So it's gonna take some juice. As you can see, it's very empty and a lot of open field. So when it's windy, it's windy. Wait, what the hell? Oh shit. I didn't realize the road was squeezing in. That was a nice long straight shot. This is where this is one of the areas I go to off-road. If you see my previous videos, you know this area on the good old YESSIRR. That's what I love. I've been having some street bikes, but bringing the Project Flash back, which, not gonna lie, I'm still a little weary about that battery. I think sooner or later I'm definitely just gonna have to build a whole new battery, because all that I did to the Project Flash, the one cell got damaged the most, but I'm sure the rest cells have obviously taken some heat. So it seems like it's still showing a bit signs of wear, which once again, not surprising. But I got street bikes, I got the bobber now, and so far it seems like we're good. The bobber's holding up, it's got some miles. We've obviously done 25 plus miles so far, seeing that we just hit 7 miles right now. It's fast. We've done 64 miles per hour on the last video. I think I can hit 70 plus easily. Woo! Since that was the first time. Well, that wasn't the first time I ever hit 60 miles per hour. I hit 60 miles per hour on the Project Flash, but that was 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago. And I'm not talking about the video I did back in 2021 when I first moved out into this area and I turned flux field weakening on and I did 57, because that was only 57. No, I actually did record it, but I guess I deleted it like a bozo. I could have made it into a short. But I did 61 miles per hour on the Project Flash. So it's not my first time doing 60 plus on any of my bikes. But that was a long time ago. That was 2 years ago, so I'm not used to that. And then hitting that again at these speed on this bike scared me a little bit, so I let off, but it was climbing up to like 61, 62, 63, 64. It was going up like seconds. So I'm like, oh shit. So I could have hit 70 easily. I think I could have hit up to like 73. And mind you, we're still not even hitting the max power that this controller could handle. I don't know where the hell I'm going right now. I've never really been on this road, but fuck it, let's keep going. Probably gonna do a turn into one of these neighborhoods. Oh, it's getting rough. Probably gonna do a turn into one of these neighborhoods. Look at that view. Sheesh. Looks so nice out here. Can we turn right here? No one's behind me. Yeah, let's turn right here. So much rough roads in this area. Woo, 8 miles already. Let's see what the BMS is saying on our percentage here. This is probably still climbing, but we're at 69.9, so it's probably still like 70. 28% already? Oh shit. Each cell is at 3.4. So you know what's funny? Okay, so I'm guessing it's not the cutoff voltage, and I could probably lower the cutoff voltage and get a little more miles. So I think these cells are going to cut off, or this whole BMS will cut off at about 3.1 volts. That's what the BMS said. If we just take this time to parameter set and then current parameters, no, that's current, dummy. Pack parameters. So I wasn't sure if, because it says shutdown voltage, I mean it has to be it. But then I saw this at the percentage, it will say 0 at 3.405. So I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So which one is the actual shutdown? I'm thinking maybe it's still this. I'm assuming it's still this. So I think these cells are meant to safely cut off at about, what, 2.5? But some people make it higher for safety reasons. They have this at 3.1. I'm not gonna lie, I might turn this down to like 2.7 just to get a little more miles. So I'm assuming, yes, 3.1 is when these joints will cut off. So we're at 28%. All right. So the best thing I should do, so we're gonna take that same route. If anything, actually, oh fuck it. Today's not a speed test, so let's keep the BMS app open. Okay, so that's right, we're at 70.2 on here, which is probably actually like 69, maybe 68 volts. That's some pretty good mileage, man. So we could get 30 plus miles doing speed like this. That is very good. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, in the BMS I did just lower that so-called 0% stuff from 3.4 to 3.1 just in case, and I saved it. We're gonna go back close to my area. We're gonna do that in gear 1 just in case. This is my first time operating with these cells. I mean, shit, first time building a battery. So it's definitely my first time operating with these cells. And once again, just in case these cells might drop off a little hard, we are going to take it slow. What just popped like that? Was that my damn gas tank? Wow, these roads are fucked up. Yeah, we're seeing a decent performance difference now too. We're going slow on gear 1. Battery's not hot, or at least I think that's the BMS I'm looking at, 28C. So probably still around 60, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. God damn, I think this whole way we're going to be driving against the wind. Look at that view. Jeez, that looks really nice. Alright, so I kind of cut the recording because the way back has been real slow. We're still on, but we're claiming 5%. I did change a couple of settings. So I changed the shutdown from 3.1 to 2.7. I think I changed something else. You already saw me change the 0% voltage, but we're just taking it real slow just in case, because everything's still at 3.2, or it says the average cell is at 3.268. But just in case, I don't know if this is accurate, this little 5% here, just in case it isn't accurate, I'm taking it real slow because I would rather not walk back. If we can make it back to my neighborhood, because that's where I'm going, then I'm just keep going back and forth to my neighborhood, and I'll come back and let y'all know what happened. But right now, I think I might as well show y'all me just cruising it real slow back home. But we're gonna be in the bike lane. Jeez, 3%. That could be sag. It is and it isn't. Some of these cells are indeed below 3.2 volts. We're in the 3.1 volt range now. Well, I can't say it's definitely obvious that this battery can give us some range. It may be a little less than the range that I was hoping for, which was 40 at decent speeds, but I'm not surprised, to be honest, because this bike is heavy and the gear ratio is tall. I try to gear it for some more speed, so it's a lot of factors that play in how much power, how much range this battery could really give out, and how much power it has to use to move such a bike, especially at certain speeds. But to be honest, I think it's obvious that we got 30, maybe 30 plus miles, and I'm pretty goddamn happy with that. It's way better than the scam battery, I'll say that much. Alright, so here we are, we're back. 0% is showing. If I didn't lower it, it would have cut off by now. 12.85 miles.
So now that we know how much miles we've done today, let's put all the numbers together. So the first ride was 19.66, but I gotta remember that extra mile. For now, I'll say we did 20.50 miles on the first drive, simply because I did a drive off camera, same exact amount of miles, 20.50, and had 50% battery left. Then adding that with 12.85, we've done about 33.35 miles. Now that may not quite be the 40 miles that I was hoping for, but hey, I'm very, very happy with that. That's way better than the scam battery. And we do gotta remember that throughout this video, I was doing a lot of speed testing in gear 1, 2, and 3, doing about 50, 60 plus miles per hour, almost 70. And that did take a lot of power from this battery. So if I was sticking in gear 2, I probably could have got like, who knows, 35, maybe 37 miles. And sticking in gear 1, I could have possibly got those 40 miles, seeing that I could still hit about 48 to 50 plus miles per hour on gear 1. But now that we finally have a better battery, I can finally do the long drives I've been wanting to do. I can finally do the scenic routes I've been wanting to do. And besides all that, I can finally confidently ride this bike without being stuck on my scam battery, feeling like something new is going to happen, since it never cut off at the 60 volt cutoff it was supposed to cut off at. It would cut off at 71 and 74 volts. So I'm like, if it's still doing that, for all I know, this battery can get worse and start cutting off sooner. For all I know, if I just really want to over exaggerate, it could blow up on me. So now that we have this new battery, I can finally comfortably and confidently ride my bobber. So I'm letting y'all know now, I will be spamming the shit out of y'all with videos of this bike. But with all that being said, it's about time we end it here. It has been your boy. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more, because I do e-bikes. And I'm out. Peace.